where we're going to find this is under data. And instead of going to imports, where we originally started moving things in here, we are now going to exports, where we are moving things out of Nextpoint. And so we can see here the production that we just started, production 1/20/22, it is processing. But once it finishes, it's going to look like these other exports, where it says complete the number of volumes based on the size of the data. And then you have these ellipses over here to the right to be able to either download to your local computer, which doesn't, I don't really see too much of a point unless you need to have those documents on your local computer for maybe court presentation purposes, where you don't have access to internet. But the important thing here is going to be able to share these documents over to opposing counsel. So let's go ahead and click share. And here is where you can go ahead and type in the name of the individual, type in their organization, their email address, confirm their email address, because that's where this is going to get delivered. You can add multiple recipients. Say you're sending this to 4 individuals. You can type them all in here, or if you've shared with them before, you should be able to see them in here in saved recipients, and you can share it to them very quickly. So if I wanted to share this with Trisha, I could go ahead and say, let's save that to Trisha, but I'm not going to actually share it to her. Then you go ahead and type in a note to the recipients, say, per our conversation, per our agreement, here is the production as promised. You have 14 days to access this link. And what it's going to do is when you hit share, it will take your export and send them an email. Each individual will get an email with an encrypted link that will prompt them to confirm their identification to be able to access that export and download it to their local computer. Which, once you do so, you will see, I haven't shared one in a while. Let me go back, find one that I've shared. Once you share an export, you'll see these shadowy figures appear next to the title of the export, which sounds very shady. But this just denotes that you have sent this export to other individuals. And if you click on it, it will show you the recipient report. And you can see who it was sent by, who it was sent to, the date and time that it was shared, when that access expires, and if and when they first accessed it. So this can be a very helpful report if opposing counsel is going to the judge and saying, they did not produce their production to us in a timely manner. We still haven't received it. You can go ahead and download this CSV report and say, actually, we sent this production to these 4 individuals, 3 of whom accessed it on these dates. This was well before the agreed upon production exchange. You guys have had this information since this date. You have no excuse. So I think that this is a little handy dandy CSV report to have access to. If you go ahead and click into any of these productions, you'll get a little bit more details about it. Again, you'll see who was the one who exported it out, document count, the date of the export, whether or not it's complete. You can see the export template that was used and the details that were included there, the name of the load file template, if there was one, and then how many pages there were for it. And then here is where the actual load file is, and here's where the actual volumes of data are. And so you could go ahead and download these. You can either download all, or you could download them individually and see what that looks like. And so if I were to download the load file, I'm gonna move this over. Download the load file. I can see here is my production 12/28/21 data load file with CSV, DAT, OPT. These are the image load files and the actual load files, which I could go ahead and open up. And they would have those fields that I had in my production. So this is the load file that's accompanying the documents. If you recall, the data. And here is the, oh, I didn't want to do that. Let me click on the volume here. And if I open this up, here's the actual production, which if I open it up, you've got the images, text, and natives, and here's the data with the load file. And so this, if you recall from our basic and produced imports training, this is the structure of a production with a load file. And so if I wanted to go into the images and like pull up specific pages, I could go ahead and pull up PVC 115, that document, and here's the image for that page, PVC 115. So this one, I decided to have the bait stamping in the middle.